Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today we'll be taking a look at our Hollywood Racks Destination E2 bike platform rack right here on our 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So if you're familiar with the Hollywood Racks Destination racks, they have this unique wing design which allows you to carry bikes of different shapes and sizes. This is going to have an increased weight capacity though. You have 70 pounds per bike. Awesome for your heavy electric bikes, plus you have an included ramp. So we'll talk about all of those features, but we are going to focus on our Grand Cherokee L here today. That way you can see how it works with the car and then get the best fit for you, your different types of bikes, and your vehicle. So the very first thing we'll talk about is the tilt away feature. If you want to open up your hatch, let's say you forgot something in your trunk and you need to grab it real quick, but your bikes are on there, you can tilt the rack away. And this has a very unique process of doing so. We have straps here, and these are holding in our clamps. We're going to keep that on because what you're actually going to turn here is this knob. So see this knob here? Once you have that loosened, you can just push that out. Let's loosen it a bit more. Push that out just a bit, and this won't automatically drop. You're going to get yourself situated, get yourself just enough where you can push this out, and then this drops down almost full 90 degrees, which is awesome if you want to access your hatch. So let's open up this door. Look at how much clearance we have between the door and the bike rack. We can now get in there, grab even our larger items, let's say our helmets, our bags, our waters, without having to take our bikes or even our bike rack off. And once we got this in place, we just lift up on the rack. Let's go to the other side, get myself a bit more stability there. And then once that's on there, you just go and get that knob you took out earlier, put that right back in, and tighten that back down. So just like that, you have the time to get yourself out of the way, which is awesome, especially if you have those 70-pound bikes. With other bike racks that tilt away, you kind of have to support that weight, and this helps with that. Now, what types of bikes can you carry with this rack? Notice how you have a lot of different mounting points. You have 1, 2, and 3 wheel straps, but you also have a frame mount. So the frame mount is going to be centered on the bike rack, and then whether you have, let's say, a step-through bike, a mountain bike, a road bike, this gives you a bunch of different opportunities to mount this in different places and then get the best fit for both of your bikes. Now when you want to take your bike off, you actually start at the wheel straps. So with how this is situated, you can just go ahead behind the bike rack, press on this lever, and lift that strap out of the way. So this actually swings around just to make it easier for you, because once you have your ramp on there and you want to take your bike off, you want to make sure those straps don't get caught up in your spokes. So with 1 strap, 2 strap, and here's our 3rd strap. Now before we take the frame mount out, I'm going to go ahead and set up the included ramp. As awesome as it is that the ramp is included, it's not on the bike rack itself, meaning you have to keep this inside of your vehicle or in your trunk. So compared to something like the Yakima on-ramp, where the bike rack has the ramp mounted in there so you don't forget it, this one you're going to have to remember. So this ramp clips right into your rack. You just let it drop down to however far or however deep of an angle you need, and once you're ready to go, you then just loosen this frame mount knob. Notice how we have the option to lock this down. There's a lock core there actually for extra security. Once that's loose all the way out there, I'm just going to push that frame mount knob out, and then I can now ramp it down. So we have it up against our garage in an awkward spot, so we can't fully ramp the bike down, but you can kind of get the gist of how that works. If you have 70-pound bikes up on there, you can see how helpful that would be to be able to ramp it down instead of having to lift the bike up and down, especially with how the Grand Cherokee is so high up, which we'll take measurements for later on in this video. Now we have our ramp here, and Once you've gotten your bikes, and you can use this on whichever side you want, go ahead and secure that, put that back into your car so it's ready to go when you are ready to go. Now let's talk about the cradles here. We have the unique Hollywood Racks destination design where you have those wings for those different wheelbases. The maximum wheelbase you can carry with this is going to be up to 48 inches. You also have these straps for different tire widths. The maximum tire width you can carry with this is going to be up to 4.5 inches. So if you have your extra wide, your fat bike tires, then this can work with that, as long as it's not wider than 4.5 inches. Now you can see here how we have on our front wheel cradle, we have a little chalk here that goes back and forth just to give you that extra support. And then we have our mast here, which can actually fold down. Let's do that real quick, because what if we want to open up our hatch with our bikes off, but we don't want to have to tilt it away? We just take those straps out, push these levers down, and then once those are loose, you can then fold this mast down and secure it again in this position. And then you put the straps back in just to make it nice and neat. We'll put that in there later. All right, so let's talk about the length this adds to the back of our vehicle before we go any further. I'm going to measure over here at our bumper to right before where the mast goes down. It's 34 inches. If you want to include that lowered mast, it's going to be 44 inches. So with the mast up, it's still going to be a compact bike rack. Great for if you need to maneuver into your garage or back into a really tight spot. Now, what may be concerning for people with this car is ground clearance. Measuring from the end of the rack to the ground, it's 24 inches or exactly 2 feet. From the center of the rack to the ground, it's 28 inches. And then compare that measurement to where your shank is, which is a good height of 20.5 inches. When you have your 70-pound bikes, you're gonna have to lift them 30 inches up into the air. Now you can see how important it is to have that ramp to make it easier for you. Now, what if you're not planning on going out for a bike ride just yet, but you also don't want to take the rack off because it is kind of heavy? What you can do is you can fold it up into the portable or compact position. To do so, you have that clip there, and then you have this pin here. So once that pin is removed, you just lift up on the rack, fold it right up, and then pop that pin right back in where you took it off. And then don't forget to put the clip there too. That way it's all nice and secure. Now you do have to kind of maneuver the bike rack around to line it up. But once it's there. Let's take some more measurements in this position. Closest point is going to be pretty far away. So from our Jeep emblem to the front wheel to our mast, that's actually going to be 8 inches away, so plenty of clearance there. The length now added to the back of the car is from the bumper to the hinge, 16 inches. So big difference compared to when this was folded down. You'll want it in this position when you're just planning on driving around town and you don't want to take up too much space. But what is it like living with the bike rack behind your Grand Cherokee L? Well, with it folded up like this, now your mast does go like halfway through your rear windshield, although you do have this opening here in line with your windshield wiper. So you'll still have pretty much full visibility through your rear view mirror. As for your taillights, notice how you still have visibility of your taillights when you're on the road. Your license plate though, that's going to be covered. Your backup camera sits right above where the tray is in this open area. So what's going to happen is when you do back up through your rear view camera, you're going to see the bike rack, but you'll also still be able to see the view behind you. If that's still going to be a major issue though, just so you can go ahead and drive around with it in the down position. Now let's talk about how this fits into our hitch. So we have a 2-inch shank on this rack, which fits into our 2-inch hitch receiver. This has an interesting design where you automatically line it up with a hitch pin hole, and then you just adjust it here at the end. So there's a hitch pin and a lock at the end, but this does the work of an anti-rattle. So with this tightened down, it secures it to the shank. That way your bike doesn't jostle around as you drive around. So let's demonstrate that real quick. I'm going to shake the bike rack back and forth to try to simulate the road movement and vibration. And really, the vehicle is moving at this point. And that's because that connection is nice and secure. If you do feel like there's a lot of movement, just double check this knob here, which you use to tilt away, and see if that's secure too. All right, my personal thoughts about the Hollywood Rack's Destination E is it's really designed for those extra heavy electric bikes. You have a lot of clearance here for those bikes. You have the versatility of the frame mounts. That way, if you have a step-through bike or an electric mountain bike, you can still carry both of those and then get the best fit for you. Maybe the one downside to the Hollywood Rack's Destination is it is a heavy rack and it does take some time to tighten your bike down because you have 1, 2, 3 wheel straps as well as the frame mounts to think about. If you want something quicker, maybe take a look at the Inno tire hold instead. That has a really easy to use 2 wheel mounting points, and then that's a very quick and easy process. Otherwise, this is going to be super helpful with those extra heavy bikes, and it has a really cool tilt-away system too. So this right here was a look at the Hollywood Rack's Destination E 2-bike platform rack on our 2022 Jeep Grand Cherokee L.